Welcome back. Welcome in to the Lions Share podcast ahead of NFL Week 18. We are back, and it is great to be back in front of all of you shareholders on YouTube and on the audio waves on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. We, of course, had the Lions defeating the 49ers in primetime yet again on Monday night, and now it's on to Minnesota at home, the Vikings and the Lions for the number one seed in the NFC. Game of the year type vibes. Everybody's circling this one because all the other matchups in Week 18s don't mean a lot, and this is certainly the one, and it's going to be flexed into primetime, as you all know. So it's for the North and the one seed in the NFL. So revenge tour continues on here in Week 18. Episode 150. Got to give out a shout out to ourselves. This is 150 episodes for this year podcast. Hard to believe we've come this far, but we thank you all for being here each and every episode, and we appreciate the support on the podcast, social medias as well. This is going to be a 2-per episode. We're going to recap the 49ers game real quick, and then we're going to go straight into the Vikings preview because that's what you all want to hear about. So, guys, I want to welcome you guys back in after a little holiday PTO. How we feeling, and can you believe that it's Week 18 already?
Can't believe it. Holidays were great. Always go by too fast. It's nice to get some time off of work, get a little R&R. Visit with all the family you love, visit with all the family you hate, but it's good to be back. Happy to be with you, boys.
Well, I've been itching to get back on this microphone, boys. You know it. We got another Lions victory in the meantime, and one more to wrap up the regular season and on to the post.
Also, can we just shout out, I think if you ask the shareholders who is most likely to give themselves a podcasting studio, Andrew probably would have been last, but here we are.
Man, I miss that green wall, Mitch. I don't know about you. I miss it.
Hey, man,
Which
came
one?
built in.
Well, what do you mean? Which one?
And he's slugging brewskis. Guys feeling himself.
That's a Bella V. That's a lemon seltzer water for you, pal.
Guys, we're paying you way too much.
That $4 ad money.
Hey, I don't think we're supposed to announce that. I don't think we're supposed to.
Yeah, people are gonna.
Tommy!
Yeah, people are gonna stop listening. We're getting paid too much.
Yeah, but always a good opportunity to shout out to YouTube. Check out the studio setup that Andrew has on the Lions Share podcast YouTube. It is incredible, and we hope to maybe one day, all have that and not be in our bedrooms or spare bedrooms.
Accessories to come. Don't you worry.
I'm looking forward to it. But as we said, Lions did beat the 49ers. That's the big news last week, and now next week it is this week. Coming to Week 18. No Thursday night football this week. So here we are on a Thursday recording in front of you all as we approach Week 18 in the NFL with the Lions and the Vikings. 49ers game, real quick. That was the last road game of the year, regular season for the Lions. Of course, that means they completed the undefeated on the road, and that means with 40-plus in that game, that was 5 games this season with 40-plus and 0 turnovers, Something very different. What
Did you want us to make fun of you for that? We don't have to.
I was waiting for the soundtrack.
The soundtrack, the applause,
Yep.
the crumble track. High level analysis.
We have that one too.
No,
We got a lot of them here.
Don't play that one. I just did it perfectly.
Yeah, you did. Some people are going to be confused.
Some people aren't real fans.
Casuals. The casuals.
Yeah,
And those fans are going to be coming out.
No pores allowed.
Well, this is the time of year they all start showing up. Lions playoff team, Lions and Vikings. Everyone's going to be watching this game. So this is when the bandwagon really starts to get full on these teams, and whoever wins probably gets a few extra bonus points in this one. So let's go back to Lions 49ers on Monday night. Seems like ages ago, but it did happen just a few days ago on Monday night in front of the biggest audience in Monday Night Football this year. No shocker that the Lions provided the biggest television audience of the year, and the largest, that's a double negative or something.
Wow.
You're right. Get your legs under you. You'll be okay.
So, what do we have, like 2 weeks off? Over 2 weeks?
We've been out a while.
Yeah. But it was the most watched Monday Night Football game since 2006 or 2008. I can't remember. So it crushed the numbers, and it was a good one. It started off a little shaky for the Lions, but then they come out and do what they do, and they win the game, and and we get the meme that has been seen around the world, which is Jake Bates doing his thing on the ground. And, I don't know what you guys made of that, but I thought ESPN maybe left it on that camera shot a little too long. It was a little weird.
George Costanza, the art of seduction. I thought he nailed it.
Yeah, Ben, I think you sent it to me, but the "Paint Me Like Your French Girls" is going hot right now.
Yeah, that's one of those moments you see it live and you know that that's going to be plastered across the social medias instantly.
Yeah, the new nickname is rolling around for him too. BDB.
What does that mean?
You know what it means.
Thought I'd get you.
No.
Didn't take the bait.
Guy's on his A game tonight. Damn it.
Didn't take the bait? Was that part of it? Was that?
Didn't take the baits?
Oh, dun, dun, dun.
Coming up with them live here, folks. That's what you come to know and love here on the Lions Share podcast. After a little break here, I think we're all feeling a little loose. You know what I mean? If you know what I'm saying.
Speak for yourself.
What you guys make of the Lions-49ers game? Obviously, limited notes here. We'll get into the big matchup with the Vikings, but man, was that hook and ladder sexy. Once again, we've seen it a couple times from this team, but Ben Johnson continues to just throw every dart out there, it seems, and J-Mo finds his way into the end zone, which was nice to see as well. No penalties.
I will say, I mean, the big thing for me on those trick plays, sorry, Mitch, I got to start looking for the coaches on the sidelines more because they're tipping the trick plays. Ben Johnson was down the field where they thought they were going to lateral it, just up the field from that, waiting for him to be there. And then the clip of Dan Campbell on the sidelines with the big smile just as they're about to snap. I got to start finding the coaches more. It seems like they're tipping the tricks.
I like that. I think that's pretty accurate. The unsung hero was the sun god on that play. Like, without him being a freak athlete, that hook and ladder doesn't work. Game was a ton of fun. I was telling you guys, I feel like the Lions are just gonna have half their games are gonna be in prime time. They just show out every time they're in prime time. And I mean, the scoreboard's probably a little misleading because the 49ers kind of got that garbage time. Shout out to the Lions defense in the second half, because in the first half, I think the three of us probably could have scored on the Lions defense, but in the second half, they really buckled down. But it's just fun to watch. I feel like for the casual NFL fan or just the non-Lions fans, they have to be the top team to watch if yours isn't on television. Has to be.
Yeah.
America's team.
There we go. Yeah. And for the 49ers game too, it kind of showed, and it felt like the defense was going back to a little closer to last year's defense, right? Paper thin, can't really stop anybody. The DBs are getting torched, and the defense needs to get a turnover to give them a chance to win. And that's what it came down to. I think I said it in the halftime capsule. They're giving the offense enough of a chance, holding them to field goals in a couple opportunities. They're giving them enough of a chance to put more points on the board. They just need that turnover to turn things loose. And I think that's where the onside kick came from last week. He didn't think they could get that turnover, tried to manufacture it himself.
Yeah, 100%. That's where his head was at. You're right. Kirby Joseph, with not one, but two INTs in this one, fully bumps him up to the interception leader on the year with 9, ahead of the second place guy with 7. So we'll see if Kirby can break double digits this week with another INT or maybe a couple. But you're right, Andrew. You nailed it in your halftime capsule that you sent to us as well. But if it felt like if they didn't have that turnover, that game probably doesn't end with the Lions victory. That was the difference maker, and they needed it, and they got 2 of them, and both coming from Kirby Joseph. So they needed somebody on that defense to step up because, as you said, it was paper thin, and there was not a lot of good to say about the defense. Pass rush wasn't there. It was just it was hard to watch on the defense.
I think I summed it up in my halftime capsule pretty well.
Yeah, I didn't get yours.
You did.
No. Your phone keeps
really
sending
funny.
them as the wrong file format. I can't open it.
That seems like something when Tommy was helping a little bit more, something he would have said, but that's okay.
Yeah. No. And now our group chat's flooded with Amazon links, so I can't find it.
It's okay.
A little behind the scenes, Andrew, has quite the canvas behind him there, and Mitch wants him to put a little decorum up there. And by decorum, I mean decor.
Jesus saves.
Wait,
Did you send the wrong one?
no. I send what Andrew needs the most.
A little Jesus.
Jesus saves.
Oh, look, an audio file that I can't open. This is speaking of the Lions defense going into last year's form. This podcast has just gone into last year's form. I felt like we were pretty crispy.
Do you want the exact halftime capsule?
Yes,
I can give it to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Halftime capsule. Defense stinks. That was it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That was right up there with one of yours last year, which was, or no, earlier this year.
I feel like I get grumpy and I just don't. If I get going, the train's never going to stop.
Yeah, I get that. That does sum it up.
Yeah, I know you get it.
Offensively, though, I didn't have anything really bad to say. I think conversely, the offense played really well, and I didn't have a lot to say other than, J-Mo leads the receivers for 2 weeks in a row, which is great to see. And also, I felt like I wanted to ask you guys deeper on this one, but I feel like Laporta's finally getting back to last year's form.
He's back. Certified back.
He's getting there. Absolutely.
Yeah, need him this week too against a Vikings team when if we'll get to the box score in a minute, but the last time the Lions and the Vikings met, they could have used some of those guys like Laporta and Jameson. And so we hope that
they were just like trying to save him for the playoffs, and then they're like, "Oh shoot, we have to score 40 points a game to win now."
Didn't want him to get too many Pro Bowls,
Yeah.
He couldn't get too many Pro Bowlers on this team. By the way, there's only 7 of them. Probably should be more, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So let's go into Band Player of the Week.
Can we start?
Yeah.
I've got Kirby because he's a dog. He's a ball hawk out there. Pretty obvious. 2 interceptions. We've said this before. Each one of Kirby's interceptions looks the same. The ball is up in the air, and all of a sudden, Kirby is just coming vertically down and just snags the ball. Kirby, and then I've got St. Brown because again, he's just always there. He in the hook and ladder, and he brought the attitude this week, and I love that he's been doing that. Did you guys catch on the St. Brown podcast where he called Fred Warner out? It was amazing, and he posted it on his Instagram. It was awesome.
Deservingly so from Fred Warner. That was a tough pregame.
They limping.
Yeah, that was. Shareholders would look that up. That was a tough watch for anybody, 49ers or Lions fan.
And then they dissected the defense.
Yeah, bit by bit.
Yeah.
Andrew, who'd you have?
Oh, I'm right up there with you, Mitch. Give me KJ as well. That guy, absolute dog. And Ben said we'll get to the Pro Bowl selections, but snub. Unbelievable. And on the offensive side of the ball, I'll go a little different than you, Mitch. Give me J-Mo as well. Ben called for the J factor in this one, and it came out in a big way.
Yeah, the J factor. The X factor, Jameson. J-Mo. I've got Kirby with you guys. They don't win the game without Kirby. So it's an easy pick for me this week against the 49ers. Kirby was doing it all for the defense when they needed it most. 2 turnovers generated from him. So,
do you have a question, Andrew? You look like you got a question.
He's got 2 listed.
Nope. Next document.
He's got two.
There's some funny business coming from where, the funny business used to come from Fort Wayne, and now it comes a little bit closer from the mitten. All right, boys. Vikings. Let's move to the Vikings preview. For the North.
Welcome back. Well, oh, shoot. This is the same episode. Welcome back. You're still in.
You're still in. If you want to pause it here and save this for another day as we approach Sunday, the big matchup on Sunday, Lions-Vikings, Sunday Night Football on NBC. Last stop on the revenge tour for the regular season, boys and girls, shareholders. I highlighted it to you guys in the group chat, Andrew and Mitch, but we have none other than Brad Rogers as the head referee in this one of the most flag-happy crews in the league, had over 10 in every game that they've had this year. And also, who could forget, Brad Rogers was infamously the one who screwed over the Lions in Dallas last year with the whole Skipper and Decker reporting incident that we all could not forget, could not erase from our memories. It is none other than Brad Rogers. So they've got to defeat him and the Vikings this week. So watch for that as the revenge tour continues on. Lions-Vikings, as I said, 8:20 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. Vikings coming in hot on a 9-game winning streak, longest active streak in the NFL by a long margin. Lions beat the Vikings earlier this year on a game-winning field goal from Bates. That was what? Was that week 7? That was week 7. Yes, week 7 that the Lions and the Vikings first met in US Bank Stadium. Lions came out victorious 31-29 off of a Bates field goal. Should mention this in the 49ers recap, but Bates. Sorry, my Google Home just went off, and I heard somebody talking out in the other room. My Google Home just went up. Not sure why.
What does she want?
So, she was talking about bread. Not sure why.
Bread home. You need to bring some bread home. Is that what you heard?
Some bread homes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. We actually have a ton of bread right now. So should have mentioned that Bates is now the Detroit Lions franchise leader in points in a season after his successful kicks against the 49ers. So good job, Bates, fighting through that pain too, by the way. But anyway, Bates won the game for him in US Bank Stadium. Of course, that was the game where he hit the boom. The Costco guys boom was introduced to us in that game, and the Lions came out victorious. So looking at the box score from last time, guys, what do you remember from that game? I remember Jahmyr Gibbs tearing up that defense that was so stout. The Vikings defense, we hear so much about that front seven. Andrew, you highlighted them in the past. That front seven's real strong, and they're real good against the run. But Jahmyr Gibbs had over 116 yards rushing and added another 44 through the air, over 150 all-purpose. So that makes me feel good about this matchup without David Montgomery. I feel like Gibbs, I don't know, he just goes off against the Vikings.
I think he's been going off, and he's going to continue to go off as they keep leaning on him. I mean, he had another stellar game against the 49ers, and I think everybody's going to be real hungry. The vibes are high, I think, going into the week. And I think there's just enough trash talk from the 49ers, and it's just like, I don't know, Gibbs included, but everybody's going to be ready to rock.
Gotta have it at home.
Absolutely. I remember talking about it before the last game. We wanted some of that ankle breaking cuts that he did from last year. So hopefully we can get him on a couple one-on-ones and let him do his thing and just catch the edge. Because as soon as that guy catches the edge, man, he is just gone. I was also just kind of looking up a few Vikings stats while you were going off there. Averaging 26.5 points a game. Lions, again, going to have to put up 30-plus here in this one. Also, giving up 18 points a game. So I think the Lions are going to do numbers there. But they're about 41% successful on third downs. That's where the defense is going to have to get those stops. A lot of third down stops, and I think that's going to be the key for them.
Absolutely. You know, the Vikings live in these close games. They've had several close games, although their point differential is very high, and it sits up there at the top with the Lions, who are, by the way, I think they're plus 200 now. With the victory over the 49ers, I believe they are plus 200 even. Yeah, they're plus 200 even, and then the Vikings are plus 122. But unsurprisingly, Packers' point differential is actually higher than the Vikings, even with a worse.
Interesting.
With 3 less wins on the season.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody might be typing, but I can't really tell, except for I can definitely tell. Boys, Vegas, expecting some fireworks in this one. The points total is at 56.5. Lions are at 2.5 point favorites right now. I think it opened at 3, down to 2.5.
Yes, I believe I did see opening at 3 as well, and I do see the 56.5, which we've got our handy-dandy spreadsheet with all the over-unders on it, and this one sticks out because it is higher than all the rest. Obviously, Week 18, a lot of starters resting. Not going to have anybody resting in this one with the Lions and the Vikings. Everybody's playing their hearts out for this one because it means so much. Shout out to the NFL for having this nicely scheduled in Week 18, of course, and it will be the Lions' 7th game in primetime this year, which is incredible. What also is incredible is they're bringing back the black uniforms. Mitch, you posed this to us in the chat. What do we think about the black uniforms coming back? Obviously, we loved them when they won in them against the Hawks, and then they lose in them against the Bills. So now they're 1-1 in the black uniforms. Do you think that there's still some luck in the black?
I think as long as they do the black with the blue line at midfield, that's what they got to go with. Rock the black, Andrew said, for the Vikings funeral, but leave the logo as is.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I like that. I just want to see those blue helmets once more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's arguably one of the best elements of that beautiful, beautiful jersey, and we'll see what they do if they do the black line and the midfield, and also obviously they did the...
I feel like that's something, and what do you guys think? I feel like that's something that Dan just asked the team. What do you guys want to wear?
Yeah, it's got to be, right? Because I think they can maximum wear these 3 times a year, and they've had them twice, and so they could have pulled out virtually any uniform they wanted, I guess. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't see how the front office or the team, other outside the players, would make this call. I think you got to be a team. I think you're right, Mitch.
Yeah,
and the Vikings, it's gonna be a crazy color matchup because the Vikings are gonna rock their all whites minus the helmets. It's gonna be purple. They're not gonna wear their winter whites or whatever they call them.
Those suck anyway, so
yeah,
good
the
call.
all whites, brutal. But with the purple helmet, I think it plays a little bit better. So that's going to be an all-time color matchup for those watching on the television and at home. Alex Anzalone, what do you guys think? Obviously, we're too far out to know what his game designation is going to be. He's been practicing. We've heard conflicting reports. We've heard he wasn't going to be ready. Then it was he's ready. He's really close to being ready. We heard Dan on 97.1 The Ticket today making jokes about how he's got to do a handstand, headstand, and all this. To me, if he's making those jokes, I feel like he's going to play. What do you guys think about Alex's status for Sunday?
I think he's going to come out of that tunnel hyped up, ready to rock.
Hair flown in the wind.
Boy, do I want to see it, but Dan's comments made me feel the exact opposite way.
Really?
Is that he wasn't going to be ready, and he's going to have to do a lot to get ready. And it's going to be a near impossible possibility to be ready for this week, is how I took it.
Okay.
Even if he just comes out in uniform, though, that's going to get the crowd so hype.
Fanzalones, we need them. We need the Fanzalones back with the flowing hair. But
did
Andrew,
they do that? Did they give out like the Ben Wallace froze? Did they do one?
I think that was just all personal stuff.
Man, that was just some guys in the stands.
Yeah,
just guys being dudes.
Yep.
That might need to be a fan giveaway one game.
Cheapest ticket, boys, $528.
Wow, it's gone up that much.
That's nuts. Oh my gosh. 500.
What parking going for?
It was around 400 a couple days ago.
This includes the fees though.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Got all the fees there. That's good.
Yeah, I'm seeing standing room only at $400.
Wow.
On some without fees, of course.
Does that come with a beer?
Doesn't even come with a seat.
They got to start selling tickets with a fucking
Pat with a whoa! Watch out, folks! I told you he's getting loose. He's getting loose. He's slamming brews in his new studio. He's getting
it's a sparkling water, and I apologize for that one to the listeners. That's not me. That one slipped out.
Someone's gonna get in trouble after this airs.
Just give me a dog with that, at least, with that ticket, please.
Oh, yeah.
If Costco can do it for $150, the Lions can do it.
Thank you, Mitchell. That's logical sense.
That's
right.
Give
the people what they want. They got to be doing something special for this game. The Vikings had fake snow in their stadium against the Packers with the hand warmers.
You think they're doing one of the
the
light
wristlets?
up bands?
Yeah, they have to be for the blackout. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think they did it in the Packers game too.
And then pregame, we're gonna get NBC's camera flowing through the stands and all the fans singing along to "We ready, be ready for y'all."
How many flashes to Eminem in this one?
Oh, you know he's gonna be there.
Oh, they're going to Aiden and Eminem so heavy in the B-roll.
Ooh, A&M or A&M. Well, I guess that kind of works. Aiden and Michael or Eminem. Marshall Mathers. Yeah. What if
You
they're
okay,
in a
buddy?
booth? I'm not. I have had too much eggnog. I need some of what Andrew's drinking. What if they're in a booth together? Can you get that on the bingo card?
That's two big personalities in one booth.
I didn't even think about that. That's probably like they probably are going to cut to Aiden on the big screen and have him hype the crowd up too. Yeah.
Got to do it. You got to pull out all the stops in a matchup this big.
Rocking.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a huge matchup, but I don't know about what you guys feel like. I feel like, and I don't know how to describe what I'm feeling right now. Like once it's Sunday, I think I'll feel that energy. But right now, I feel like you said, Andrew, the Lions are kind of taking the route of like play, like act like you've been there before. They're playing it kind of cool, right? Don't you feel like they're playing it cool ahead of this matchup?
I think they're just kind of keeping themselves in check, right? Like, let them talk. Let them do all the talking they want. Build that chip. I tell you what, though, I'd feel a lot better if Aleem was there. Watching DJ Reader trying to chase down quarterbacks is a tough sight.
Well,
watching DJ Reader bite on a hard count was a tough sight.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one, too.
Well, in the last matchup against Sam Darnold and the Vikings, the Lions accounted for 5 QB hits and 4 sacks in that one, and those came from Malcolm Rodriguez, RIP, not with us. Jack Campbell, still with us, still got Jack. Nowoski, still got him. And Josh Paschal, still got him. So 3 of your 4 sacks still accounted for. On the offensive side of the ball, they, like I said, St. Brown had Gibbs had a great day. So did St. Brown, had over 100. Got a touchdown from him. Leaf had a touchdown. We hope to have Leaf. He's been practicing. We hope that this is his week. Last week he was practicing but wasn't ready for the game. Feels like this is the week he comes back out, as they are making room on the squad. Jameson Williams, 1 catch for -4 yards. So I hope that he's more of a factor in this one. Sam Laporta also 1 catch for 25. Let's bump those numbers up. Both of those guys, I think if you get some more productivity out of those guys, I feel better out of the offense in terms of the receiving attack, which had 280 yards combined against the Vikings last time. But other side of the ball, Sam Darnold had 244 yards passing, and the attack of Aaron Jones and Sam Darnold had 4 carries for 39 yards. Aaron Jones added 93. So there you go. Justin Jefferson under 100 yards, though, by the way. So that's kind of an idea, a look at what happened the last time these two met. So it'd be huge if they have Anzalone out there. I think I showed you guys the DVOA once he went down. That graph went down quickly. And obviously Carlton Davis not out there and Aleem not out there either. That's going to hurt the defense too. But Anzalone, you could see it on that graph just how much of an impact he has. So would really love to have him back, but obviously he's got to weigh his options as far as being available for the playoffs too. So see what happens. You guys want to talk picks? You guys ready to talk picks?
Let's do it.
All right. I will kick things off this week.
Ben, kick us off.
Thank you. I will. You know what? I think I will. I was going to have Andrew go first, but I think I'm going to go first. Lions 34, Vikings 26. I'm going to equal 50 there. I'm going to take the under on this matchup. I think a lot of people expecting fireworks. I think it'll be there, but maybe not as big of fireworks as some are expecting. Got to have a pass rush on the defense. We saw what that led to. The lack of that hurt the Packers real bad. So Lions got to get some pressure on Darnold. 4 sacks the last time these two teams met. Going to need to match that this time around. Gibbs, he carried the load against these guys the last time. I feel confident that Gibbs is going to play well and go off here. And then J-Mo, the X factor, the J factor. I'm looking for a big game from him and Laporta as well. If Anzalone doesn't play, I think they might have to get over 40. But I will take 34-26.
I like it. I'm a higher scoring affair. I think just watching the games the last couple weeks, I've got Lions 42, Vikings 38. Shout out to all the Vikings fans that are about to swarm into the TikTok. It's a Lions podcast, you nimrods. Get lost. You got to make Sam Darnold uncomfortable. That's the key here. We saw what he did to the Packers, made him Swiss cheese. It's not just about Justin Jefferson. You got to bottle up Addison. You got to bottle up Hawkinson. They got to hit Darnold. They got, like you said, Ben, they got to get pressure on him. Let Kirby be Kirby. Don't let the man get loose. Don't throw it over the middle of the field, Darnold. That's going to be a huge mistake. Other than that, offense just has to keep doing their thing. Got to score 40 points, I think, in this one, but offense has been the spark plug all season, specifically in these last few weeks. I think the Lions can get it done.
Mitchell, absolutely. I'm with you and Vegas in the fireworks this week. I'm going Lions 45, Vikings 38. This game is going to come down to a final drive scenario, whether it's the Lions driving down to score and control the clock there, or Dan puts the ball up. The Vikings have the ball and puts it in the defense's court. It has them get a stop on that last drive. I think it's definitely going to come down to something like that. Ball on offense is going to be spread around. I think a lot of guys are going to be touching it. Hopefully we're getting Leaf back, and he's a new wrinkle for him. He was there last time, but he's been out long enough that hopefully they forget about him. And like you guys said, ticket prices, going to need the crowd in this one. Maybe lower the beer prices so they can have a few more, really get them into this game because we're going to need them. Vikings fans will show up in droves. They're not too far away, but it's going to be a fun affair nonetheless.
Looks like we're all kind of calling for a diaper game. You feel like it's all going to be a diaper game once again? We have no choice here. The Vikings coming to town.
Hey man, it's for all the marbles, and Dan loves it, and I think Dan is just too excited for this. That's definitely a diaper game.
Yeah, as a fan, you gotta love it. You gotta love it, and the team's embracing it. Fans, we have all got to embrace it as well. It sucks that cool. 2 14-win teams are coming into a matchup in Week 18 for the 1 seed or the 5 seed, as the loser takes the 5 seed. That sucks. The NFL's seeding, it's just not built for these matchups. But
yeah, it's trash. Let's welcome back the Vikings fans. I mean, this is obviously like a little biased, and because we're dealing with it right now, but I think there's merit to like win your division and in, but there's going to be a 14-3 team on the road in the playoffs. That's just ridiculous.
It's crazy. I will say the bye is the bigger thing rather than home field advantage, especially for the Lions undefeated on the road. I think that's the biggest thing.
Dude, I don't know, because if you think about it, if it went off record, both these teams are going to get home field advantage for a certain amount of time, right? They probably just rest their starters this week. So I think they want the bye, but they got to be thinking about how important home field advantage is.
That's the thing.
They're road kiddies. Don't test them.
I'm sure we all saw the graphic this week of like the amount of teams that have done that go all the way to the Super Bowl after starting the playoffs on the road. I think there's only been 5 teams.
Yeah, it's very low. And all had Hall of Fame quarterbacks, I believe, something like that.
Yeah, last ones to do it were the 2020 Bucks with TB,
yeah.
Yeah, I think to me it's the home field advantage because, again, if home field advantage isn't if it's just based on record, the Lions are more than likely, it would probably kill DC, but they're probably resting guys this week.
I don't think he would. I still don't think he would.
Yeah, it'd take a lot for Dan to rest guys. I don't know. Yeah. But you're right. Both of you guys are right. I mean, like, road warriors, they haven't lost on the road all year. But I think Mitch is right. You know, in the playoffs, it means so much more. And I think you take anything you can get. They did have 2 losses at home this year, but I think you're looking for any kind of edge in the playoffs against teams that are just putting it all out on the line. So, shareholders, vote down below. Comment below if you think you can predict this Lions-Vikings matchup better than us. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of traction on this one with all the eyeballs.
We're going to ripped up on TikTok. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, the Vikings ship is sailing high, a little too high. Some are probably saying right now the Vikings 9-game winning streak from those guys right now. we'll see if they can make it 10 against the Lions as they hit a buzzsaw, it seems like. So,
Did you see him try to drown their quarterback after their last game too?
oh, don't get me started on the champagne in the locker room.
My God, there was so much water.
Was it water? Or was it
I
champagne?
just assumed. I thought they were all hydrated fellas.
Grape juice. How about Kevin O'Connell standing alongside, just taking it all in?
Fruits of my labor.
Got to give a shout out to you as well for bringing this up several weeks ago, saying how this is going to be the battle for Coach of the Year, and now other people stealing your bit.
Forgot about that.
I feel like KOC's got it locked, but it's all right. It's still a good narrative, and obviously I know we all feel that Dan deserves a little more love than he's gotten. I just think the Coach of the Year is so subjective because Kevin Stefanski basically got it because I could be wrong here, but basically because they won with Joe Flacco, right? But now it's like, is that why KOC's going to get it? But we're just going to ignore the fact that the Lions have a ton of injuries. So basically it's just like who can win with the worst quarterback. It's also just so predicated on like what Vegas thinks heading into the season. So
right.
The Lions aren't going to get it because they were expected to go to the NFC to compete for the NFC Championship. But like all the adversity that they fought through, but it's not a quarterback. So again, I think it's subjective. KOC is a great coach, though. I think
Absolutely.
The NFC North has 3 teams that are going to have the same coach for a long, long time.
Yeah, sorry, Bears.
Yeah,
They're going to probably be a revolving door for some years to come.
Speaking of, should we shout out the Bears fans? And did you guys see the report that Ryan Poles is trying to steer Bears ownership away from Ben Johnson because he thinks Ben Johnson is going to try to push him out?
Oh my God!
I thought that was a fake article. That was satire. But I did see it.
I mean, you just described the entire organization.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's give a hand to the NFC North as well. I mean, one of these 3 teams better represent in the NFC Championship, right?
Yeah, the Super Bowl.
I mean, my God.
Yeah, you got to imagine out of this division, it's not going to get any worse with the years to come. I mean, it's just only going to be this way for a while. I obviously some teams are going to have drops and fall back, but all these 3 teams above 500 probably for a while, I would say. Don't you guys think it's not going to get any worse? That's for sure.
I mean, injury dependent, but yeah, over the next 3 to 4 years, this is going to be a very tough division.
And it's going to be hard for the Bears to ever leave that abyss that is they found themselves in. But like you said, Andrew, it's like we talked about. I think their combined wins right now at 42, with the 14 from the Vikings and the Lions, 28, and then the Packers have 11, and then how many did the Bears have?
Like 4 or 5.
So maybe it's actually, they may have already broke the record of 43. I can't do math right now, but gonna get 2 more wins this week, presumably, unless there's a tie in one of these games. You'll get 2 more wins because the North is playing each other. Which, by the way, I guess we should bring up with the Lions beating the 49ers. If this game between the Lions and the Vikings ends in a tie, the Lions would have the tiebreaker over that. So
let's start there, Ben. Let's start with your fact or fiction. Start at the bottom.
Okay, great. If it comes down to overtime, and it's applicable that the Lions could end the game on a tie, do you think they play for that tie or go for the win?
There is no fucking chance Dan Campbell goes for a tie.
I didn't think he could sit players, and I don't think he ever plays for a tie.
That's the silliest fact or fiction you've had, and that's saying something.
I'm just trying to bait you guys. You guys took the bait. You guys got so upset.
Bates us?
Jake baits ya. Just baits ya. Back to the Coach of the Year thing, though. No, I'm just kidding. What's that? No, I do want to go back. Just for what's the stat? It's in another sport, right? It's wins above replacement. Is that a stat?
WAR, yeah. I think they started doing that though. It's big in baseball, but
that's basically what you're saying about
everywhere.
Kevin O'Connell is that like because he had the Vikings came in with like a 6.5 over under for their wins, and now they're at 14, so that's why he gets it.
Essentially, yeah, you just like are exceeding expectations, which again, I think Kevin O'Connell is a great coach. I don't think any of us are saying he's anything but that, but I just feel like DC just hasn't really gotten the love. Like, how did he not win it last year? What was the Lions' expected win total last year? 8.5, probably 9, maybe.
Yeah. Took him all the way to the end. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It does end at the end of the regular season, so playoffs don't count.
What did you guys make of thoughts on Vikings trying to ship JJ?
It doesn't really surprise me. Sam Darnold is not 30. I mean, he's young, and if you can get, I think if you are going to do it, this is the year to do it because it's not a deep quarterback class this year. You basically have Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, and then I think there's a pretty significant fall off. So
teams are going to be
looking. If you're going to do it, now might be the time to do it.
Yeah, for that purpose, I think it makes sense. You know, there's going to be a lot of value there. Like Mitch said, if you're in need of a quarterback and you're not going to get him in the draft, or you feel like you're not going to, I think you're going to be willing to spend some change on JJ. I don't know if that's the right move. I think we're still going to look back at the season and be like, you remember that time Sam Darnold threw 35 or whatever he ends up with, obviously with the Lions game, 35 plus touchdowns in a year? And in a Vikings uniform, I think we'll all look back and think of this an anomaly. I think he's a fine quarterback, and I think he'll do okay with the Vikings just because Kevin O'Connell is such a good quarterback coach. But I don't know. I don't know what the right move is there. They're in a tough, kind of weird area there, the Vikings are.
I'm gonna correct myself. The Lions win total for last year was 10.5 games.
That can't be right.
It doesn't surprise me, dude. If they
had an easier schedule last year, I guess.
They ended 9-8, and they in the year before, and they had the easier schedule. Anyways, what's the next fact or fiction?
Last thing I'm going to say is going to give you a shout out because Andrew and I think you listened to it too, preseason show, and you said it wouldn't surprise me if Sam Darnold threw 35 touchdown passes, and here he is, right at I think 34, 35.
That's where he should stop.
No, Mitch said that.
Oh, I was going to say, damn, I don't think I could ever be that accurate.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mr. The Hawk Tuas are going to take the Kirk Cousin and the Hawk Tuas.
Can I just say, if ever there was a time to use the high-level analysis button, you just whiffed.
Oh, don't worry. There's always time. I'll find another spot. Let's go to fact or fiction. Let's continue this train. As we said, all fact on the or fiction on the Detroit Plays for a Tie. I'm in the same boat as you guys. I think that's a fiction. Fact or fiction? High School Musical dance from the Detroit Lions. Vikings have been doing their dances all this last couple of weeks. They've been doing the High School Musicals. Do you think the Lions try to troll them and get back and do their own sort of dance here against them?
Can I two for this one with another one of yours?
Sure.
One of the other fact or fictions, Lions hit the gritty. I think it's a fiction on the High School Musical dance. I think it's a fact on the gritty. I think you're gonna see some obnoxious shit for sure, but that's how they're gonna mock them. Like, I don't think they're gonna do the High School Musical dance. It's Amon-Ra and Gibbs though. Those dudes get in, they find Pater and they just start busting it in the end zone. It's amazing.
Mitch, I mean, everything Mitch just said. He couldn't be more accurate with that entire synopsis.
Dude's just like trying to BTA.
It almost gets to the point where it's concerning that how much time these guys are putting into this. I mean, it's up there with the practice time that they put out on the field each week. So, yeah, but it is crazy and it is entertaining. And certainly for the casual fans at home, you got to love it. All right, next one, fact or fiction. Justin Jefferson's going to go over 100. Last matchup against the Lions, he had 81 or around 80. Does he get over 100 this week? Fact or fiction?
I think that's a big fact for me. I think Darnold's going to force feed him that ball, and they're going to try to force some DPIs.
Yeah, I think I'm with Andrew. I think it's a fact. Unfortunately, I know I called out Addison and Hawkinson, and they got to bottle everybody up. But I just think Jefferson's going to get loose. Although in Terrion we trust. I think a lot of what we saw against the Packers was McKinney was just so focused on Jefferson. That's how Addison. It was middle of the field was wide open for business against the Packers. So hopefully AG's watching that and figuring out how to button it up a little bit, but I still think Jefferson gets over 100.
I'll zag. I'll take Justin Jefferson under. I think he'll land about the same spot he did last time, around 80, 90 yards, just under 100 there for Justin. Gibbs, over 150 all-purpose. He had that last time against the Vikings. Does he do it again here?
Lock it in.
Fact for me.
I'll take a fact as well. Gibbs, over 150 all-purpose. This one got slipped in here under my little nose. I didn't see this one, but fact or fiction, Collinsworth, obviously in the booth because of NBC, Collinsworth will bring up Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, it's a big fat fact for me as well.
I think it actually is going to be a fact too. That's a good one because I think if Darnold or Goff do any kind of like anything
sneak
but
out on
average
the
throw,
sidelines,
like that's Mahomes-esque.
Dude, that's the exact line too. Mahomes-esque.
Mahomes-esque. You know, he's going to bring up that Mahomes was sitting this week, but we got our own style here in the Sunday night window. Yep. I'll take a fact as well. Fact or fiction? Detroit, as in Ford Field, can break the sound record. Is this the game where they can break the decibel record, whatever it is?
Oh, you don't know what it is?
138, 135, somewhere around there.
Somewhere in there.
You mean the NFL record, not just like the Ford Field record?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what was it in the Packers game? I think I heard it got to like 116, somewhere in there, maybe into the 120s.
I don't know how anyone ever got that. I think that's a fiction just because when I was at the Seahawks game last year, I thought my brain was going to explode, and it got to like somewhere like where Andrew said, like 115, 116, and I was like, oh my God, the city of the whole 313 is shaking right now. I don't know how they would get louder than that. So I think it's a fiction, but prove me wrong.
Same.
I would say if there's ever a week for it to happen, this is it.
This
but
is the one.
Fiction as well.
I'll take a fiction as well. I think, the loudest fans have been priced out of these games, like we talked about with the tickets. I think that's the unfortunate part about a team being so good in the prices, and you're pricing out the loudest fans.
But it's also people with so much money that they can afford $12 cans of beer.
Yeah, but they're wearing like Dockers out there, They're not going to get too loud in the Dockers. Or the Lulus. All right, last one here. Fact or fiction. The Lions will crack top 3 in most points by an NFL team in an NFL season. They need 32-plus points to jump into the top 3 in most points.
Fact.
I love this one. Give me a fact as well.
What do they need for top 2?
I think they
got it.
If the top 2 are like, I think in order to get like number 1, they need like 70. Top 2 is not. I think you need like 50 for top 2.
I don't hate it.
This is obviously with an extra game in there. 17-game season now, so that plays into it. I don't
hate it.
I'll take a fact. I think they break 32. All right, that's your fact or fictions, boys and girls, shareholders. Vote down below if you think you can come up with better fact or fiction. If you can get all of these, we'll give you something special. All right. Winner gets the 1 seed. We all know that. Pro Bowl Lions have 7 of them. No Kirby Joseph, no Alex Anzalone, and no Carlton Davis. Can't believe Kirby didn't. Well, he made an alternate, but he didn't make the main roster. Can't believe that, like you guys said, as the interception leader in the league. But 7 Pro Bowlers, 11 alternates. I think more, or maybe equally as surprising as no Kirby on the main roster was no Anzalone even on the alternates.
He just didn't play enough.
Yep. That was exactly what I said too.
But did you guys see that Jared Goff has joined Bobby Lane as the only multiple-time Pro Bowler quarterback in Lions history?
Good for you, JG.
And a shout out for Stafford for all the years you were overlooked.
Yeah, true on that too. And
I love that everybody's on the Hall of Fame talk for him now.
It's enough, right? And Baker
I think
Mayfield,
he's like borderline. If he gets another ring, it's a no-doubter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially with that team right now. Yeah. We'll see what the Rams do in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs for sure. But no Baker Mayfield. Jaden Daniels and Jared Goff, and I don't know who the third one was on the NFC, but no Baker.
Baker's crazy.
Couldn't believe that they put Jaden Daniels in over him. and it's only because of his completion percentage, like through the first 6 games. I know it went down. I don't know what he finished at.
I think
right?
it's. Are you talking about Baker?
No, Daniels.
Well, he broke the rushing record for quarterback too.
That ought to do it. That's a big one.
Was it a quarterback Pro Bowl or is it a running back?
I'd still give it to Baker, to be honest with you. I mean, the guy's like clearly, he's just a gamer. I mean, he's just got it. When you look at him play, he's just got it.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. 7 Pro Bowlers, 11 alternates for the Lions this year. That's the highest they've had in a long, long time. That's the second highest in the league. The Ravens had 9 Pro Bowlers. Week 18 picks, boys and girls. We don't have many of them this week because there's just some stinky matchups and ones that don't mean a whole lot. A lot of resting out there. So we're not going to go through all of it. We'll post the full list on our social medias, but I wanted to highlight a few. Steelers-Bengals. What do you guys think about this matchup? Steelers on a 3-game losing streak. Bengals got to have it and need some help to get into the playoffs. But what do we expect from this Saturday game? By the way, 2 games on Saturday. What do you expect from the second game on Saturday at 8 Eastern from the Steelers and the Bengals?
Steelers are coming into this with 3 flat tires, about to make it 4. Pickens is like the most prototypical wide receiver of all time. Just drama fiend. He's right up there with DK Metcalf and the likes of them. I mean, can do it as good as anybody else. Him and Russell not on the same page right now. I don't think they can pull it off, especially with the Bengals just kind of riding the highest of high waves right now. They have all the momentum.
Yeah, I'm with Andrew. I just think the Steelers look dead. The Bengals look alive and well.
This was tough. I'm changing my pick in the document to Steelers, but I might change it back to Bengals. I don't know. It's a tough one. Chiefs Broncos. Obviously, the Chiefs are gonna sit their starters. Do you guys think the Broncos can get it done with the Chiefs sitting some guys?
Absolutely. I think Bo Nix has got that dog in him. He's got that fight in him. Especially with the Chiefs sitting starters. They've struggled to win games here all season. They win all tight games. And without those key players, I think that's going to be the difference maker.
Yeah, I think they can get it done. Sean Payne's got to remember how to manage the clock, though.
Wrong document. Rams Seahawks. Rams going to rest their guys. Do you guys think Seahawks can finally get a win here against the Rams? And if the Rams do lose this game, that bumps them down a seed, probably with the Bucs win. So whoever loses between the Lions and the Vikings would play the Rams at home. The Rams at home.
I'm assuming Stafford's sitting down for this one.
Yeah, among others.
Yeah, Stafford's the difference maker for me on that Rams team. He can fit it into such tight windows. He's the guy forcing the ball down the field. If they have to deke and duck, he's the one making the throws. I think he is the X factor in the game. Without him, I think the Hawks take it.
Yeah, I'm with Andrew.
Yeah, I agree. These matchups not great, but here's one more for you. Dolphins versus the Jets. Dolphins still with an opportunity to make the playoffs, which is crazy. The AFC is just so much more open than the NFC is, so locked up right now. But how about this? No Tua for the Dolphins this week, and none other than Snoop Huntley is in at quarterback. Did you guys know that Tyler Huntley had changed his name to Snoop?
Oh, I hate that. I don't know if I can pick.
Right?
Oh,
it feels tough now.
Doesn't it?
You're dropping an anvil on my pick.
That's why I'm kind of iffy on this one.
I'm still going against Aaron Rodgers. That guy is just the worst teammate of all time. I'm going with the Fins.
Oh my God, I might have to pick the Jets.
No, you don't.
I do. I have to go with the Jets.
Andrew, you should be inviting this. This is an opportunity for you to surpass him now. With a 4-game differential, I think you could do it.
Ben with the big brain 4D chess call right there. I love it.
Speaking of, Andrew, congratulations to you. You finished last season with 158 wins on the year. Now at 160 going into Week 18, can only improve from on that. On your already +2 for the year over year. 94 losses from you right now, 160 and 94. Do you think you can keep it under 100 losses this week with 16 games? You think you can get 10
I think so.
or 11 of those to keep yourself under 100 losses?
I feel pretty good about it. There's a lot of games that should be pretty much decided here. So as long as those ones hold, we got a chance.
Mitch, you 163 and 91. You feel pretty good about staying under 100?
Keep it under 95.
Ooh.
I've had a double digit loss week, so it's possible that I mess up. I'm just looking through. I'm like, I gotta see what's going on with the Texans and the Titans. You know, am I picking against Snoop Huntley or am I picking because the Jets? I don't know. I might have to tweak some of these.
Yeah, we'll have those posted Sunday morning on the Instagram and TikTok without any games on Thursday or Monday this week. All the games taking place on Sunday, so it's gonna be a slate. It's just not a good one, minus the Lions and the Vikings. That's really the only thing that means anything, and that's why it got flexed into Sunday Night Football once again. So for the North this week, boys and girls, let's go Lions. Week 18 is here. Got to savor this football while we have it. Next week, it'll be Super Wild Card Weekend, and the playoffs start. So a lot of guys going for incentives this week. A lot of teams, not a lot actually, really. Few teams fighting for playoff spots, and the Lions and the Vikings fighting for that number 1 seed. Got to lock in, folks. Embrace it. This week, 14-3, 14-2 versus 14-2. Let's go Lions in the all-black uniforms. We got to own Ford Field. If you're going to be there, be as loud as humanly possible. Let's go Lions. See you all after Sunday Night Football.
Meow!